Evening, everybody. How we doing? How we doing? Happy Friday. Hope y'all had a good end of your trading week. I know I for sure did. I didn't recover the loss that I had, like all the drawdown. Cheers, giving myself a treat. Bit of ice cream. Because I did have a pretty freaking banger day. I was done within the first few minutes of market open. Um, this was a banger trade that I hit. And I'm gonna do is go back here and kind of explain my thought process with this. And I'll go over like a few trades that you could have taken, kind of like in hindsight. And it is stuff that I was watching. I actually took one of them in demo. That one actually ended up getting stopped out. Um, and I didn't take it. I didn't take it on my eval because I already took a win, and I could have, traded with like half my size, like risk just part of the profits that I already made on the day, maybe like one micro or something like that. But I figured it wouldn't be worth it, especially since the trade that I took it was just like pitch perfect and it played out like insanely well. So, few things. Okay. Um, Today was CPI, and if you know anything about news, like red folder events, um, they can leave these freaking massive candles, like this one right here, right? What that usually looks like on Bookmap is like a low volume node. If I can find it here somewhere, I didn't get a screenshot of it. Damn. But this is what I was seeing on Bookmap, and I'll show you that when it comes. But basically, what happens with news, at least from my understanding, is news are very volatile in a matter of milliseconds. So usually liquidity providers, like people who usually have um, like limit orders all the time across the current order book, they pull all their orders like a millisecond or something, or like a couple seconds before news. So the book goes pretty much dark for like a millisecond. So that's why like you see that aggressive move like in one direction of another, because a single contract can make the price move that strongly. So most of the time, or in a lot of scenarios that I've seen, and this is speaking from experience, with these type of news that we have a very aggressive move in one direction, even having like the wicks, we have a zero print low volume node, which basically means there's in this area this 378 to 451 452 area, that there's a bunch of zero prints there. So like in the volume profile there were zero values there. Like it was it's a very clear low volume node. It's just low volume node is uh, point in price or an area in price where there's little to no volume. That's pretty much what a low volume node is. Usually, if it's between two areas of high volume. So, like, if you're able to see a volume profile, right? Like, like a volume profile, say here, right? Obviously, this is a clear example, but this is tick volume, right? So if you just look at a volume profile for this session, this is tick volume, and you could have used this too. You could have used it, right? This is a huge low volume node, right? You could have marked out that entire area. If you can see, it's actually I did a pretty good job in marking it out with Bookmap, because I was looking at Bookmap and I took my time. Like I zoomed in and see like where's actually the zero print, like where did volume start to come in and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty interesting. And I was just bullish because all time highs used to be if I zoom out even more, all-time highs used to be all the way back here, right? And if you see the resistance area that we broke through, this all-time high resistance, it's a resistance area that had held multiple times. So if we actually get rid of this for now, it held here. So it held here, right, with this Trump tweet. So you could count this not holding. But if you zoom in here, we hold once, 2 times, 3 times. You could count this as a fourth time. So by this time, and you could, like, if you consider a bit more of that, maybe this is like the fourth time, maybe this is the fifth time. So like, it's a pretty significant resistance, right? If we break that resistance area, we're gonna make new all-time highs, and that's what I was pretty much expecting to happen this week. I think I mentioned it in like the first video of this week, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, I'm kind of yapping here for no reason. But yeah, I'll go over my context. So, for my context, I was very bullish, right? Previous day's range stat was bullish. Trudy Open is below us, but it did get wicked in London, if you see here, right? The stat is still relevant for just the New York range, right? But we'd have to completely invert the move of CPI, which is a possibility, which I'll get into here in a second, of what I was looking at in real time. Yeah, price looks like it made new all-time highs off CPI. Already covered that. We broke through a key resistance level, which was this. We broke through Wednesday's high. We broke through Tuesday's high, which is over here. So we broke through a key resistance area and a bunch of significant highs. And we also retested them. Like, we retested them here in London. We retested this coming into CPI. And then, yeah. And we're also like above the session VWAP. So just overall, very bullish. I don't think I had the volume profile because I didn't really need it after seeing the low volume node. I had a very clear idea of what I wanted to see with the low volume node. So I didn't really care that much about the volume profile for the session when I just had a clear low volume node area. And I had a clear target, which was data highs or all-time highs. Same thing. So yeah, that's pretty much what I was looking at with that. So that was me coming into the session, right? And then I just said I had a very strong bullish bias coming into open with the 0 print low volume node. We had off CPI and all-time high context. So I noticed price retraced into... Oh, frick. My bad. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to go to the 5 minute. So my entry happened within the first 5 minute candle. I'll actually go into the 3 minute because this is really where I got my entry. My entry happened in like the first 3 minutes. Not gonna lie. I'll actually move it like one tick down. So you... Where did I move? Where did I have my stop? Sorry, that kind of threw me off because it looks like the entry's off. Was it not off? Like, what the heck? I don't know. I actually don't know what's happening. I'm so confused right now. Yeah, that's not making sense why it's doing that. I'm trying to like move it one tick. Like, why is it doing that? What the heck? Okay, I'll move it 2 ticks down. Whatever. It's just because the position tool doesn't look like it's actually in profit, but it is. And I'll actually show you my exact entry. Probably this one. Yeah. So this is my entry. It's on MNQ on the 5 minute. You see my entry was 465.50. My stop was at 429.75. Right here it shows 3 ticks down. Same thing for the entry. I mean, the entry was supposed to be 465.50. So, oh, 2 ticks down, sorry. Ooh, okay. Sure thing. That works. Whatever. Okay. But this was my entry. This was my entry. Um, yeah. 465.50. We can even do a buy stop. Um, modify order. We'll see if. Yeah, whatever. Um, this might actually. Okay. I'm like losing my train of thoughts. This is like the second time. You know what I probably need? I probably need one of these. Sheep. Anyways, um, this was my entry, right? And I look at the. This was my entry. Stop loss there. TP at. So this is pretty much what I was dealing with, right? With the context that I had, right? This, I didn't see a need for me to trail. Oh, I forgot to go over my confluences for this trade. So, this is what I saw on Bookmap. You see this failed selling, a retest of that same area. We still don't push down. It's even more selling here, more aggressive selling. Even just looking at the volume down here, it's more aggressive sell volume, right? And it's a very similar CVD, right? Yet somehow we're not moving lower. Where did this also reach to? The 0.5. That action happened at the 0.5. So we got a double retest of the 0.5. So I was looking at like when we got into the volume, like, where could we like reject off of, right? Because it was just a massive area. It didn't have like a clear, like a specific point in time. Like with fair value gaps, you have like the midpoint of the fair value gap, or like if you divide it into 4 quadrants or whatever. Like, well, I know like ICT talks about that kind of stuff, but with liquidity sweeps, you have like a very specific point in price, right? With a low notes, it's like you'd expect the whole area to get respected, but I managed to throw in this fib in the middle of that reaction. Saw the retest. I'm like, this is my entry. Took it as soon as I could, and yeah, saw a failed selling twice. Buyer stepping up and following through. So if you look at Bookmap during that time, right? Aggressive after the failed selling, aggressive buyers step in, and they follow through, and they actually get us out of that low volume mode. And this is very close to where my entry was, which is 465.50. It's 467. So this was like a couple seconds after my entry. But this just ended up ripping to TP, and I didn't see a need for me to go break even. And I'll actually show you my execution here as well. Oh, right here. So you can see entry 465.50, exit at 523.75, which is actually a bit better. So yeah, it's actually a bit better than where my entry was. That's so funny. I didn't realize that. Oh, I think I had like, huh? That's funny. I had like 3 ticks up. Well, 2 ticks above. It makes it a 163. Still like, same thing. But I do have to update that on my Notion. Excuse me. But yeah. I was kind of hesitant about taking a trade off open. Like I was seeing price action. I'm like, open might actually just manipulate and immediately take all time highs, and I wanted to be a part of that. And the trade looked way too clean, but way too clean for me to not take it, right? And I hesitated because my mentor did say like you shouldn't be trading what's it called? You shouldn't be trading freaking I forgot. Before like 10 a.m. or something like that. And I even noted like in my journal, like in my trade review like for him to review like I know this was within the first minutes of open, but the failed selling retest on bookmap, low volume node, fib was way too clean for me not to take it. And he even said it himself. Clean trade, bro. Like I don't have anything to say. Like when it's news days like this, that those type of trades are valid. I'm like, yeah. Like if it's clean like that, I'm taking that 100% of the time. It's so clean. It's one of those days that makes me like remember why I love trading. Even then, like I could have gotten a better entry. I honestly believe that here I could have entered maybe even here. Let's play it on the safer side. Safer side. 450, right? Because like ideally 445 when we're actually breaking out of there, but 450, right? Where we're actually seeing some buyers stepping in. 450, if we enter there, that's a 3.64 R in like no time. From 9:30, it happened. I can actually see the exact time. Probably like 9:32, right? 9:32, and this gets us out probably at 9:36, 9:37 in 5 freaking minutes, bro. It's such a clean freaking trade. Like honestly, such a clean freaking trade. And I even like, something that I'm proud of about this trading day is the night before, like, after doing the trade review, like knowing I was in drawdown, kind of facing that, those mistakes, I was like, what if I just full port CPI? Full port CPI. Worst thing that can happen is I lose the account, and Alpha Futures is running a discount, so I could just get another one at a cheaper price for Tradeovate. So just kind of like a reset. It's even cheaper than a reset. So thought to myself, I could do that. Ended up not doing it. I actually decided to sleep through it. Um, yeah. Um, Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting to say the least. Um, so it is what it is. But yeah, even after that, caught a clean trade, and I thought about like risking like more than I should, and I didn't. I risked 3 micros. If you see my position size here, oh, that's fine. Ooh. You put 200, 2.8. Pretty much the same thing. Um, so maybe I was risking like 210, probably. Mm-hmm. All right, like 214.50, bro. Like pretty dang close to what I should be risking. Um, I would have liked to get a better R, sure, but and I thought about like what if I extended my TP, and I even like told my friend that he's already profitable and been getting payouts and all that cool stuff from you can do with trading. Like I could have extended my TP, held this trade for longer, because this was a low a day. This doesn't get touched for the rest of the day. This was the freaking low of day. I would have gotten close to my stop loss, yes, but it didn't get like it didn't even get close. Well, no, sorry, it got close, but it never got swept. It never got swept. We even made new all-time highs after this without sweeping this low. I could have held this, got more out of it. Sure. Would that have been helpful? I could have gone for the 2R, right? Just go for the 2.05 to kind of account for the, um, what's it called? The commissions, fees, and all that stuff. There's your TP. And you get a retest at your entry. That's your chance to go break even. Once right, you see us actually breaking through. Clean trading day. Clean trading day. Um, I'm not sure if this was the retest. If maybe it was after this. But, couple things. Great trade. Um, Good job controlling myself with my greed and just intrusive thoughts of full porting CPI. But yeah, just overall solid trading day. Not much to say, not much to add. I feel like I went a lot of over a lot of stuff. I went over a lot of stuff that I could have just skipped through, but I don't know. I like to ramble because I freaking love this, bro, and it's an amazing skill to learn. And the fact that I'm like just getting good days is pretty rewarding because I'm like, it's not really like at this point, it's not really about like the money or like, I mean, at the end of the day, like it's one of the main focuses, but like it's rewarding to see myself win because I'm getting paid or like, I mean, not yet because I haven't gotten a payout yet, but like I'm seeing results because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like when I have a good day, I know it was a good day because I did what I was supposed to do. And even if it's a winning day and it's like I didn't do what I was supposed to do, I know I that doesn't feel like a good day. A good day feels like this. When you have a banger trade and you're like, I'm done for the day. I did my job. And the results showed. You know what I mean? It's like when I had those 3 weeks of consistent trading where I got that account up to like 2.4k. That was me doing what I was supposed to do. There was even like a day or two where I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Like I overtraded, and even with that, I still got the account up to 2.4k. Now I gotta claw myself out of drawdown, and I just gotta keep doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'll do great. So, really quick, two more trades that I'll go over. So, I kept watching. I kept watching price action. Actually, I'll close all this, and I'll actually go over like the first trade that I saw, which was this one. Um, After I saw we were respecting VWAPs. So this VWAP right here is the VWAP at 820, which is a recommendation that I got from a friend, the same friend that I mentioned earlier, that does trading and has been getting withdrawals from futures for a while now, or payouts. Sorry. If you just look at a fib for the New York session, this retested the 618 twice. So this was your first attempt. If you got in here, let's say you got at the wick, stop loss maybe like a little past here, and you just target this high, 1.87. If you did a fixed 2R, you would have cashed two. That was one trade. I didn't see that at the time, mostly because I wanted to wait for the AB to set. Another thing, what I was gonna say earlier with, could I have extended my TP and gotten a 2R? Yes, but I was talking to my friend and saying like, I could have done this, but I would have had to wait for the IB to set, and my entry happened within the first what? My entry and TP happened within the first 7 minutes of market open. The IB sets 1 hour into market open. Even the 45 minutes into market open. Am I willing to hold a winning trade for that long when we're like this close to all-time highs? I don't really have a clear target. I don't, because I'd have to wait for the IP to set for me to then have targets. Because if you know anything about IB, you know that once it breaks, you can target extensions, right? But at that point, I didn't have any. So, here, just with this, right? We respect the 618, right? Make a new high. Cool. What happens later? We tap that 618 again. And you can extend this to here. Tap that 618. We hold that VWAP. It looked like we were holding New York VWAP again. Because New York VWAP looked like it was struggling to hold the 930 VWAP. But another thing that added to my first trade was the 820 VWAP and that upper VWAP end from overnight session. But for this trade, I was looking at this. I can't remember exactly where my entry was. I'll actually have to look at the picture here. It was on demo, right? So you can see here, I actually entered on demo. It's not showing that I was on paper trading, but my entry was 505, stop loss at 469, and TP, I believe, I want to say it was the new all-time highs, 548.75. So like over here, yep, that was my entry, and yeah, 505. 505 flat, maybe. Oh, it also wasn't the best RR. That was another reason why I didn't take it on my eval. On top of me being in profit, I didn't like the fact that it was 1.2 R. This one was 1.6 something, so like it's a bit better. It's above 1.5, so it's kind of nice. I'm okay with that. I don't like if it's under. I don't usually like it if it's under 1.5 R. If it's 1.5 and above, I'll like think about it. If it's 2R or more, I'll definitely take it. So yeah, this was looking good. Even the first candle, it looked like it was pretty close to TP. Our TP is like 40 something points. We were up 44 points. We were up 26. So like almost halfway to TP. And you could have trailed here, right? You could have trailed if you were in this long. I think it was a good long. Ideally, you would have wanted to get in lower, because this did just dump. You would have gotten stopped out there. If not, you would have been fully stopped out here. So why did I take this straight up even on demo? I'll show you really quick. If you go to bookmap, this is what I saw. Got really close to that low volume node again. So we actually got close to like this area of rejection, right? Like this area of rejection. So it was mostly like the fib and the VWAPs, not really the low volume node itself. But yeah, that was pretty much what I was seeing. Hold on. Somebody's saying something. Okay. That's funny. But what did I see here? I saw failed selling, failed selling, failed selling. And I actually had a friend that was in a short somewhere around here. So when I saw this, I'm like, I'm really gonna have to fade him. But yeah, I saw the failed selling. I also saw a CVD divergence, because if you see here, we're putting in higher lows, and the CVD actually put in a lower low. It's not that much of a difference, but you clearly see the failed selling and then aggressive buying stepping in. So ideally, your entry was around not 505. Oh, actually, that was a pretty dang nice entry. I'm not gonna lie. 25,500. So like 25,500 was probably the ideal entry. Like around here. Yeah. So even then, it wasn't as nice. You probably could have trailed here, maybe a bit in profit to kind of cover your commissions and then get stopped out. All good. It looked good on bookmap. It looked good in terms of confluences. And then I think this happened. Yeah. So we get insanely close to the IB low. We get a similar rejection on ES. If you notice ES, we actually haven't taken new all-time highs. So I'm like, all right, bet. Maybe we'll make new all-time highs now, right? So let me see if I can actually pull this up really quick. Ooh. Come on now. Mm. So yeah, um, ES looks like it wants new all-time highs. It got really close actually. Um, you could see this as an SMT and look for shorts, but you'd be fighting this level that's been holding. You'd be fighting the VWAP. So here, your confluences are the 786 of New York, uh, the overnight VWAP, and if you look at that same fib, right, that initial pivot point that I used for that market and that sorry, that market open entry, it's the same point 0.5. Just off this rejection, that's your entry. That's your entry. Simple as that. I can't remember how it looked, um, but this is your entry. You're like, bet we're gonna break IB high. That's your 2R. Seeing some stalling, cool. Seeing a good reaction, okay. You're like, okay, cool. What did we do? We reject the VWAP, retested it once, twice, cool. That's my sign to trail. All right. So my stop is now here. All right. Let's see what happens. Maybe you took this first retest of that 382 or 618 for New York, whatever. And this was also an 786 of New York. So this is maybe like your last trade that you want to take. After this, you're done for the day. So maybe you're being more aggressive with your trailing. I think that's acceptable. Maybe you trail to here. All right, cool. Let's see what happens. All right, we're pretty close to TP. Maybe you want to get a bit more aggressive with your trailing. Maybe you want to trail to here. You might get stopped out here. I'm pretty sure you do. Oh, I can't remember. I think you do. Yep, you get wicked out there. But I'm pretty sure this delivers to TP if I'm not mistaken. It just takes a while. It consolidated for a while here. It struggled to actually break that high. There you go. That's TP. You could have targeted extensions, sure, but to me, like at this point, this was a pretty solid trade. 36.5 stop and 81 point TP, pretty solid RR. Yeah, so those were the trades that I saw today. I don't think looking for shorts made sense at all today, especially because of all-time highs context. A lot of people, once we take those all-time highs, they're like, okay, yeah, we can't trade this anymore. When we make all-time highs, it's like the context is we're gonna keep making all-time highs unless proven otherwise. So you want to continue being bullish, which is something that a lot of people say when we've been making new all-time highs. You want to maintain that bullish bias until proven wrong. So yeah, once again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but pretty solid freaking trading day. Those are the trades that I saw. Took one of them, profited off of it, and called it a day. So if you caught a W today, congrats, you did a good job. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up the session for today. Hopefully, I'll catch y'all on Monday with another banger trade. We'll see if things start to get more normalized. If I think the market sentiment is back to being more bullish, just because of the political and economic context of the U.S. The meeting that Trump is going to have with the president of who, and yeah, things are looking up now. So yeah, hopefully we can claw ourselves out of that drawdown. Freaking pass this eval, bro. All right, y'all. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun, and hopefully I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.